So from an Islamic point of view, an orphan is basically a boy or a girl whose father has passed away, and that's basically the definition of an orphan. And of course, there's no doubt that as long as a father is alive, he's like the protector, he's strong, mashallah, he's a guardian, he's a teacher, and someone who can support the family and the children. And if the father passes away, then it's as if that shelter or protection for those children is almost like they're removed. Obviously, the protection is there from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the provider and sustainer of all. There's no doubt about that. But looking at it from a materialistic point of view and the responsibilities that we ourselves have, then obviously that affects the family members. And in some cases, the whole house becomes helpless, and under these such conditions, and slowly, the relationships between them tend to drift away and be affected by it. In some cases, even the relatives, i.e. on the father's side, they almost like lose their connection as soon as the father has passed, for instance. So subhanAllah, there's situations like this that we need to be aware of. And of course, Islam expects us to take responsibility within our communities. And Islam obviously encourages us to treat orphans well. And it's a definite way of obviously improving not just the human life, but family life and society as well. And it allows sort of dignity to that child as they grow up. And this is the very reason, actually, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran actually, in terms of turns our attention to the orphans and the rights of the orphans in many different occasions throughout the Quran, in many different places. For instance, in one verse that comes to my mind is when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala orders us to worship Him and to keep away from polytheism. And Allah subhanahu also orders us to treat people with kindness, and also amongst them, He mentioned orphans as well in the third place. This is after parents and relatives, when He talks about treating people in a nice, kind, and considerate way. He talks about parents, talks about relatives, and He talks about orphans, subhanAllah. So that's the category the orphans should be in. And we know the Prophet ﷺ has gave numerous occasions. He gave advice in terms of hadith, in terms of how to be good to orphans. One, in my case, that comes to my mind is where the Prophet ﷺ used his two fingers, and he said, the person who takes care of two orphan girls will be like this. And he joined two of his fingers together, saying that's how close we would be on the Day of Judgment. My dear brothers and sisters, isn't that how close you want to be with the Prophet ﷺ? And if that is the case, we know the Prophet ﷺ will be in the highest level in Jannah for those. If we're that close as the two fingers joined together, as the Prophet ﷺ showed us, then surely we would also be in Jannah for those. SubhanAllah. Think about that, my dear brothers and sisters. This is if we take care of two girls, as you mentioned, in terms of the orphans. And of course, another hadith actually mentions orphan as well. So any orphan that we do, inshallah, that we take care of, will be as close to the Prophet ﷺ as his two fingers. And I just want to quickly mention another hadith as well. The Prophet ﷺ has said that the best house amongst the Muslims' houses is a house in which there is an orphan and he's treated with kindness. And the worst house in the Muslims' house is that which house there is an orphan and he is treated in an unkind manner, subhanAllah. So from these hadiths, obviously, advice from our dear beloved Prophet ﷺ is to treat orphans well. Now, generally, obviously, we don't have that much contact with orphans ourselves, subhanAllah, in general, but there's lots of opportunities for us to take care of orphans through the different charities, obviously UKIM being one of them, and our charity partners as well, like Families Relief and Court as well. And these are specific charities that do a lot of work with the orphans. So inshallah, it's a good opportunity for us to be able to access support to the orphans through these charities. So that's one way that we can do that. Another example actually comes to mind from Seerah is where the Prophet ﷺ, one time he was walking, I believe it was Eid, he was on the day of Eid, he was actually walking towards where they were going to do the Eid prayer, and he saw that there was a young boy on the side of the road, and he was crying. And Rasulullah actually stopped, mashallah, and this is just amazing how considerate and in kindness the Prophet had, that he noticed these little things. And they were little. How many of us would notice a little boy crying on the side of the road on a busy day of Eid when everyone's gathering? And in this particular case, we know the Prophet would be leading the Eid prayer, so he would be the main person. So he stops, inshallah, and he not only just stops, he sits down in the middle of the road next to the boy, and he asks the boy, "Why are you crying?" And the boy says, "Look, everyone is going to Eid with their parents, with their fathers. They're going to pray Eid, and I have no father, so I've got no one to go with." SubhanAllah, and that's why he was crying. So the Prophet said, "Okay, I will take you in place of your father. I will take you." SubhanAllah. So he picks up the boy, puts him on his shoulders, and he carries him and takes him all the way to Eid prayer and has him next to him whilst he leads the Eid prayer. SubhanAllah. Can you see that example of our dear beloved Prophet ﷺ? How much of that example do we follow when we see people who are in need, whether there are children in terms of orphans out there, that we offer our hand and try to do whatever we can, inshallah. So what can we do, my dear brothers and sisters, in terms of helping the orphans around us? There are lots of orphans, subhanAllah, especially when there's conflict right now. Obviously, the situation in Palestine, as we know, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them victory, inshallah, give them help. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make them strong and resilient. May Allah forgive all the sins and bless them with Jannat for those and all the people who are facing oppression out there. And as you know, when there's conflict, there's always bound to be orphans as a result of that. And in conflict areas, there are lots of orphans. So what we can do, first of all, obviously we can give charitable donations. We should allocate a portion of our wealth for this particular charitable donation to support orphans, inshallah. There's lots of sponsorship programs, mashallah. These charities, they tell you more information about the sponsorship program. We should participate in the sponsorship programs and provide financial assistance for the education, healthcare, and the well-being of orphans, inshallah, and make a monthly contribution towards that. And some of them, what they do is they actually provide you with information about specific orphans. So it's almost like you're taking care of another child, subhanallah. And maybe we should do that, subhanallah, especially us. We are some of us who have been blessed with children, mashallah, then we should look at it from that point of view. Maybe for every child that we have, we should be sponsoring another child out there across the world, somewhere else, who need that support, inshallah. We spend so much of our finances and all of our resources to educate our children, to make sure they've got the best in terms of not just education, in terms of the clothes that they have, in terms of the upbringing, in terms of obviously going to the masjid and learning about the Quran, the knowledge that they have, and for them to find good jobs. But what about the orphans around the world? What can we do about them, inshallah? That's what we should be thinking, inshallah. There's also an element of emotion support that we can offer as well, in terms of mentorship, guidance, and this could be where we can offer our time to mentor and guide orphan children, provide them with emotional support, advice, and obviously good role models as well. And this can be done either through charities or online as well. There's online opportunities out there as well, my dear brothers and sisters. And the truth is, sometimes orphans, even locally, they feel left out. And that's why, in terms of our Inspire Eid program, inshallah, that we're going to have in Lucy Park this year, again, we actually offer support in terms of orphans. We reach out to organizations that deal with orphans and families from hardships, from different countries where they've had a lot of hardship and they're here as maybe refugees or something like this. And we offer them free rides and free food, and to come to the opportunity to our event, an opportunity, inshallah, to share in the rejoice and with the community as well. So alhamdulillah, just as an example of the kind of things that we can do, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect all the orphans around the world and give us the opportunity to be able to support them as much, so that we're as close to the Prophet ﷺ on the Day of Judgment, as he mentioned with his two fingers. Subhanallah. That's all I have time for today. Today is Sunday, the 7th of April. Iftar time is at 7:48. We have a few minutes before the time of Iftar. I'm going to leave you with the du'as, but stay tuned, because the brothers will be back from UKIM with the charity appeal. Assalamu alaikum.
This Iftaari Show, sponsored by Bismillah Garage on Tudor Road, RAC and AA approved service centre, offering DVSA approved MOT testing and various repairs. Call 01582 570 000 or check out our website bismillahgarage.com.
إلهنا قبلت الوفاء من السحرة حين ذكروك مرة وسجدوا لك سجدة، ونحن لم نزل مقرين بربوبيتك معترفين بوحدانيتك، ما سجدنا قط إلا بين يديك، ما سجدنا قط إلا بين يديك، ولا رفعنا حوائجنا إلا إليك، ببابك أنخنا ولمعروفك تعرضنا، وبكرمك تعلقنا، وبتقصيرنا اعترفنا، وأنت أكرم مسؤول وأعظم مأمول. إلهنا قد انشغلنا بك، إلهنا قد انشغلنا بك، قد انشغلنا بحبك، قد انشغلنا بذكرك عن طلب مسألتنا، فيا إلهنا يا إلهنا يا من أنت أعلم بنا من أنفسنا وأعلم بسؤلنا منا، اللهم أعطنا سؤلنا، اللهم أعطنا سؤلنا، اللهم أعطنا سؤلنا وفوق سؤلنا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. إلهنا نسألك في هذه الليلة المباركة، في هذه الليلة الطيبة، في هذه الليلة المرجوة، في مكان محبب إليك وليلة محببة إليك، بقلوب منكسرة وبأعين دامعة، اللهم وقفنا بين يديك رجالا ونساء، شيبا وشبانا، كبارا وصغارا، قد أجمعنا على سؤلك سؤالا واحدا ورجاء واحدا ودعاء واحدا، يا رحيم يا رحمن، يا رحيم يا رحمن، اللهم اعتق رقابنا من النار، اللهم اعتق رقابنا من النار. اللهم اعتق رقابنا من النار. اللهم يا حي يا قيوم، يا حي يا قيوم، يا حي يا قيوم. اللهم باعد بيننا وبين نارك، باعد بيننا وبين نارك، باعد بيننا وبين نارك كما باعدت بين المشرق والمغرب. اللهم يا حي يا قيوم.
This Iftaari Show.
Sponsored by Bismillah Garage on Tudor Road. RAC and AA approved service center offering DVSA approved MOT testing and various repairs. Call 01582 570 000 or check out our website bismillahgarage.com.
Assalamu alaikum. This is the Iftaari Show. The time now is 7:48. Time for you to open your fast.
اللهم إني لك سمت وبك آمنت وعليك توكلت وعلى رزقك أفطرت.
O Allah, I have fasted for you, I believe in you, I put my trust in you, and I break my fast with your sustenance.
This Azan was sponsored by Tariq Jewelers of Courtleigh. We specialize in 22-carat gold and custom bridal jewelry. Call us on 01582 755 623 or pop into 128 Bury Park Road, Tariq Jewelers, where elegance meets excellence.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة وابعثه المقاما محمودا الذي وعدته إنك لا تخلف الميعاد.
Just this one time on my brother Tariq's request, may Allah bless all the children of our Ummah, Hanain, Inaya and Zakaria with Iman for sponsoring the Adhan. May Allah grant them Jannah for supporting our beloved radio, Inspire FM.
This Iftaari Show.
Sponsored by Bismillah Garage on Tudor Road. RAC and AA approved service center offering DVSA approved MOT testing and various repairs. Call 01582 570 000 or check out our website bismillahgarage.com.
Wake up from your sleeping, say Bismillah as you rise. Wake up from your dreaming, make wudu and rub your eyes. As the darkness turns into the dawn, pray Fajr to Allah. As the moon cracks into daylight, sing Hayya ala Salah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Ahad. La ilaha illallah, Hayya ala Salah. The burning sun begins to fall the second time we pray.